Every single day you are given the opportunity to choose whether you will remain the same, repeating the cycles of yesterday, or whether you will break free and step into the unknown future that calls you. Life is not waiting for you to make up your mind. It is moving, flowing, and shaping itself around the decisions you do or do not make. And in that truth lies your greatest power, the ability to push yourself, to take action, and to create momentum that reshapes your destiny. It is easy to wake up and let the day run on autopilot. The same thoughts that you had yesterday are likely to arise today. The same emotions that you felt yesterday are likely to echo inside of you again. The same choices will present themselves, and the same behaviors will follow if you do not consciously interrupt them. But if you want change, if you want to move closer to the life you dream of, then you must interrupt the program. You must push yourself into action, not someday, not when it feels comfortable, but every single day. Why is action so essential? Because thought without movement becomes fantasy, dreaming without doing becomes frustration. Every intention must be matched by execution. The person you imagine becoming cannot arrive in your life unless you are willing to act in alignment with that vision. You cannot simply think your way into transformation. You must live into it, embody it, and prove to yourself each day that you are capable of more than your habits would have you believe. Most people wait. They wait for motivation, for the right time, for a sign that now is the moment to begin. But motivation is not what creates action. Action is what generates motivation. When you move, when you push yourself to take that small step forward, the energy inside of you awakens. It feeds you, it reminds you of your potential, and it builds momentum. Momentum is the invisible force that turns small efforts into massive transformation. Think about it. A river begins as a trickle, a small stream that seems harmless and unremarkable. But as it continues to move, as it continues to gather energy, it grows wider, stronger, and unstoppable. Your daily actions are the trickles that form into rivers. And when you commit to pushing yourself every day, even in small ways, that river becomes the current that carries you into the life you desire. The human mind is wired for comfort. It seeks the familiar, the predictable, the known. That is why it is so easy to remain stuck. So easy to repeat yesterday over and over again. But comfort is not growth. Comfort is the slow erosion of potential. The body and the brain adapt to routine until you are no longer living. You are simply existing. To push yourself to take action is to interrupt that stagnation, to remind yourself that you are more than a program, more than your habits, more than your limitations. Every action you take sends a signal to your mind and body. It tells them who you believe you are. If you choose to procrastinate, to hesitate, to remain idle, you reinforce the belief that you are powerless, that change is too difficult, that your dreams are not worth the effort. But if you choose to move, to act, to step forward, even when you feel resistance, you prove to yourself that you are capable. You affirm the truth that you are not a prisoner of your thoughts, but the master of your destiny. Action is not always about grand gestures. It does not always mean turning your life upside down in a single day. Often, the most powerful actions are the simplest ones: waking up earlier to focus on your goals, choosing healthier foods to fuel your body, practicing gratitude when your mind wants to complain, speaking kindly to yourself when old patterns of criticism arise. These are actions that rewire the brain, actions that teach your body a new way of being, actions that build the foundation of transformation. Consider the science of it. Every time you push yourself to act differently, you are creating a new neurological pathway in the brain. Neurons that fire together wire together. That means that the more you repeat an action, the more natural it becomes, until eventually it is no longer something you must force yourself to do. It is simply who you are. This is why daily action matters. This is why pushing yourself every day is the path to freedom. Do not underestimate the power of small, consistent actions. A single drop of water may seem insignificant, but repeated day after day, it can carve through stone. In the same way, your actions, even when they feel minor, are reshaping you. They are carving new grooves into your mind, sculpting new beliefs, and transforming your identity. The person who takes daily action is not the same as the person who does not. One is becoming stronger, clearer, more empowered. The other is slowly surrendering to inertia. Every time you hesitate to take action, a voice inside of you will whisper reasons why you should wait. It will tell you that you are tired, that you are not ready, that tomorrow will be better. But you must recognize that voice for what it is, the voice of limitation, the echo of the past, the mechanism of the brain designed to keep you safe in the familiar. Do not let that voice define you. Push beyond it. Push yourself into movement, because once you begin, once you take that step, you will discover that the resistance was only an illusion. Think about the people who have achieved greatness in any field: science, art, business, sports, spirituality. They were not people who simply dreamed. They were people who acted and acted and acted again. They trained themselves to move forward every day, no matter how they felt, no matter how many setbacks arose. They understood that consistency is the mother of mastery. They understood that daily action compounds into extraordinary results. You may feel overwhelmed by the gap between where you are and where you want to be. That gap can seem so wide that it paralyzes you, but here is the truth. You do not need to cross the entire distance in one leap. You only need to move one step closer today, then another tomorrow, and another after that. Over time, the gap disappears. The mountain that once seemed impossible is climbed, not through one giant leap, but through countless small steps. When you push yourself to act every day, you are not just moving toward your goals, you are reshaping your identity. You are telling yourself, I am someone who takes action. I am someone who follows through. I am someone who does not let fear, doubt, or laziness dictate my life. That identity becomes the foundation of everything you do. It becomes your new self-image, and your life will always rise to meet the image you hold of yourself. But let me remind you, action without awareness can also trap you. You must not only act, you must act in alignment with the future you desire. Do not simply fill your days with busy activity that keeps you stuck in the same patterns. Be intentional. Ask yourself each day, does this action move me closer to who I want to become? Does this action reflect the life I am committed to creating? If the answer is no, then have the courage to choose differently. This is where discipline meets freedom. Many people think discipline is restrictive, that it robs them of spontaneity. But the truth is, discipline creates freedom. When you push yourself to act in alignment every day, you free yourself from the chains of indecision, procrastination, and regret. You build the strength to choose consciously, to live deliberately, to create your future instead of being dragged into it unconsciously. Action requires courage. It requires faith that the step you take today matters, even if the result is not immediately visible. That faith is a muscle you build over time. The more you practice it, the stronger it becomes. At first, it may feel difficult, but eventually it becomes natural. You begin to trust the process. You begin to see evidence that your actions are creating change, and soon you realize that the power was within you all along. Your life is not defined by what you think about doing. It is defined by what you actually do. 1,000 unfulfilled intentions mean nothing compared to a single courageous action. One action, one choice, one step forward can alter the entire trajectory of your life. So, what does it mean to push yourself every day? It means to live awake, to live conscious, to live with the awareness that you are the author of your story, and every day is a new page. It means refusing to settle for the familiar when the extraordinary is possible. It means recognizing that growth happens only when you step beyond comfort, when you choose the unfamiliar, when you act in spite of fear. There will be days when it feels harder than others. There will be days when you fail, when you fall short, when you feel like giving up. But those are the days that matter most. Those are the days when pushing yourself carries the most weight, because resilience is built in struggle, not in ease. Strength is forged in resistance, not in comfort. Every time you rise after falling, every time you move forward when it would be easier to quit, you are shaping a future version of yourself that is unshakable. Do not underestimate your power. Within you lies the capacity to create, to heal, to transform, to inspire. But that power is dormant until it is expressed through action. The universe responds to movement, it rewards boldness, it aligns itself with those who are willing to step forward in faith even when the path is unclear. Imagine your future self, the version of you who has already achieved the goals you long for, who lives with freedom, confidence, and purpose. That version of you is not waiting in some distant place. It is created in the present moment, built action by action, choice by choice, day by day. Every time you push yourself, you close the gap between who you are and who you are meant to be. So I ask you, what will you choose today? Will you let this day slip by, another repetition of yesterday, another missed opportunity? Or will you push yourself, beyond fear, beyond excuses, beyond limitations, and step boldly into the life you are capable of living? The choice is yours, the power is yours, the time is now. Push yourself to take action every single day, and you will awaken a life that once seemed impossible. Every day you delay action, you strengthen the chains of hesitation. Those chains grow heavier with time, binding you to the comfort of mediocrity and robbing you of the joy of progress. Yet every time you push yourself, every time you decide to move forward instead of standing still, those chains begin to weaken. Eventually, they break, and in that breaking, you rediscover the freedom you were always meant to have, the freedom to design your life rather than accept one that was given to you. The truth is, no one is coming to push you. No one is coming to force you into your destiny. The world may inspire you, teachers may guide you, circumstances may challenge you, but at the end of the day, only you can move your feet. Only you can decide to rise earlier, to commit deeper, to take the steps that transform desire into reality. Waiting for someone else to carry you will leave you waiting for a lifetime, but when you choose to carry yourself, the universe opens doors you never knew were there. Think about the emotions you often feel when you hesitate: fear, doubt, laziness, or even boredom. Now realize that those emotions are not permanent states. They are passing weather patterns in the mind, and just as a storm clears to reveal the sun, your emotions shift the moment you move. Action is the great transformer of emotion. You do not need to feel confident before you act. Confidence is born from action itself. You do not need to feel motivated before you begin. Motivation flows once you are already in motion. The body is your greatest ally, but it can also be your greatest obstacle. When you have repeated the same patterns for years, your body has memorized them more than your mind has. It becomes addicted to the familiar feelings, even if those feelings hold you back. That is why the first push into action often feels like resistance. But do not mistake resistance for impossibility. The very discomfort you feel is proof that you are breaking free of the old self. Every push, every action, every choice that contradicts your past teaches your body a new way of being. And over time, what was once uncomfortable becomes natural, and what was once difficult becomes effortless. Your life is not shaped by rare bursts of brilliance, it is shaped by the steady rhythm of your daily actions. A single workout will not change your body, but a year of workouts will transform you completely. Writing a single page will not make you an author, but writing each day will build a book. Saving a small amount of money will not create wealth overnight, but saving consistently will alter your entire financial future. Do not despise small beginnings, for they are the seeds of greatness. Push yourself to plant those seeds every day, and trust that they will grow in time. There will always be two voices within you, the one that wants to remain safe and comfortable, and the one that urges you to expand, to stretch, to act. Which voice you listen to will determine the quality of your life. The safe voice will lull you into a life of repetition, where years blur into one another and dreams fade into regrets. The courageous voice will lead you into unknown territory, where growth, discovery, and transformation await. Pushing yourself each day is choosing to listen to that courageous voice, even when it is faint, even when the louder voice of comfort tempts you to remain still. The beauty of action is that it compounds. One step today makes tomorrow's step easier. One decision to act gives birth to another. Soon, momentum builds, and what once required force becomes second nature. Your body and mind align with your vision, and suddenly you are no longer pushing yourself. You are being pulled by the power of who you are becoming. This is why it is so important never to underestimate today. Today is not a throwaway day, it is the only day you truly have. Yesterday is gone, tomorrow is uncertain, but today is alive in your hands. What you do with it shapes everything that follows. Push yourself to act today, and you alter the trajectory of your future. Refuse to act today, and you risk repeating the past again and again. So remind yourself, greatness is not built in a single moment of triumph. It is built in the countless unseen moments when you choose to rise, when you choose to act, when you choose to push yourself even when no one is watching. That is where strength is born, that is where character is forged, and that is where transformation begins. And so, the call is simple yet profound. Push yourself to take action every day, not someday, not when it feels easy, but today and every day that follows. Because action is the bridge between who you are now and who you are meant to be. It is the key that unlocks potential, the spark that ignites momentum, the discipline that births freedom. You will stumble, you will face resistance, you will encounter moments of doubt, but each time you choose to act anyway, you grow stronger, wiser, and closer to the life you desire. The future you dream of is not waiting in the distance. It is being created right now in every choice, in every step, in every push forward. So rise, take the leap, and move boldly. For when you act daily with courage and commitment, success can no longer escape you. It must become your reality.